Now, 2 weeks after the beatification event that was held in Nyeri, many are curious to know what has changed in Nyeri, if anything. For one, a few pilgrims who missed out on the main beatification event are still streaming to some of the sites such as Gikondi and Consolata Cathedral, where her relics were interred. And as KTN's senior reporter Carol Nderi reports, more people have been identified for possible elevation to martyrdom status.
It is exactly 2 weeks since the beatification event for Sister Irene Stephanie Nyatha was held, putting Nyeri and indeed Kenya on the global map.
Europeans were looking at us like, you know, these are Africans. It is the first of its kind. How are they going to arrange it? So they were like, you know, fidgeting also. They were not satisfied that it will be a success, not in the negative sense, but being the first of its kind. But we have received very good messages from them, particularly the Consolata missionaries.
According to one of the two postulators who were in charge of coordinating the event, pilgrims who are unable to join in with the rest are still streaming in to Gikondi, where Blessed Irene Stephanie lived for 15 years. This is the house she lived in. It has now been converted into a shrine which is still under construction.
It will have a special design. Some container has already been booked from Rome, a special one that cannot be, you know, that cannot last, that will be there for long.
A baptismal font will feature in the shrine in honor of the miracle that occurred in Nipepe, Mozambique. It is said that at one time, war refugees hid in a church in Nipepe where there was no water or adequate food. When Sister Irene Stephanie's biography was being read out aloud, the baptismal font suddenly filled with water that lasted for the 4 days the war victims were hiding in the church. A woman who was in labor at the time at the church in Mozambique also bore a baby girl and named her Irene.
It is going to be constructed in the form of a baptismal font, a bigger one, and then it will have even a larger space.
Sister Irene Stephanie Nyatha's beatification having set the pace, there are more people who have been identified by the church for martyrdom as seen in this list.
We have 75 presumed martyrs in our archdiocese, and some go beyond even our archdiocese, because some are from far as Nairobi, Nyahururu, Ebu, and Meru, but majority are from around this area, especially the area of Kahiti. And most of them have a special relationship with the Sister Irene.
They refused to deny Christ because those times were difficult times, and they refused to deny Christ. They said they better die instead of denying Christ for the sake of their faith.
The hard task, though, remains in sourcing for more information on these identified persons.
Who killed them? Why they were killed? Where they were buried? And then we dig out their history so that they will soon be declared martyrs. So we are very lucky here in Nyeri, the Church of Africa and the Church of Kenya.
31st October was set aside as the day to celebrate Sister Irene Stephanie Nyatha, and the commemoration will be held annually. In the meantime, the residents of this town continue to enjoy the transformation that came with the event. Most significantly, the streetlights that now dot every corner of the town. Carol Nderi, KTN, Nyeri.